some reason my computer isn't finding you on Grid Gammon, so I think you're going to have to invite me.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
So can we do 5? Is that okay for you?
Yeah, 5 points is good. Jules F, I can see you. Let's go 5.
Okay. So I'm streaming Grid Gammon now. So whenever you're ready, take it away.
I see. Thanks, Julia. So you're streaming your screen.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let's minimize this.
So I'm streaming Grid Gammon now. So whenever you're ready, take it away. We've got.
I see. Thanks, Julia. So you're streaming your.
That's it.
Yeah, I can just see the lobby on your screen, Julia.
Yep. Well, I just need to. Oops, wrong game. That one. There we go.
We all good?
Oops, hang on.
You've got the wrong match.
Sounds like
or we've missed a lot ourselves.
It moved. The list of people moved just as I clicked. So there we go.
Yes, I've been there as well.
Got your board.
Ah, that looks better.
Cool.
How are we doing? Well, hey everybody. Hope everyone's doing well at home and watching this in the future, wherever you are. Good match, Jules.
Yes,
cheeky,
and
cheeky
good luck to you.
5-pointer. Cheers. 2-1, I guess you could make either play, but I like this one.
Okay, so 6-1 I obviously wanted to hit, but making the bar is second best to hitting it.
Yeah, reasonable miss. So 6-3, pretty easy. Obviously, I wanted to cover the guy. Now that Jules has made like a priming structure, I really want to split in the opening, against a strict 8 points and priming structures. So kind of efficient and clean to cover the 6 and split with a 3 like this.
Yeah, so when you say it's clean, what you mean is that you're keeping all your blocks on one side. So it's not a case I can attack your home board and pick up some blocks somewhere else later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so 5-4. I definitely want to fight for the 4 point. That's a point I want to make. And I don't want him making it. And then with the 5, I can do the double tiger hit of hitting him again, which doesn't actually appeal to me because he's got the stronger board at the moment. And I can actually make the 8, remake the 8. So this gives me 1 more point and 2 less blocks. So that's going to be better.
Yeah, I feel like some dramatic music should play when you make the double tiger move or something. Yeah, this looks solid, right? Keep the structure, keep your asset that you've built already. Other way looks a bit loose. Always going for the minimum risk, aren't we, for the maximum reward? So a 4 would be nice. Oh, double 3, even better. So obviously I come in and hit those 2 4s, and 2 more. Well, I think the standard approach is when someone's on the bar, if you make your inner board as strong as possible, that's going to be the biggest improvement to the position that you can make. Giving more dancing numbers, and of course that's another point in my prime. As you can see, I've got a prime now from the 3 to the 8, so super strong combination move, this one, I think.
So 4-5 comes in, and I'm tempted to stay there because there's this one gap in Seb's prime at the moment on the 4 point, and if I can make that point myself, then that takes away a lot of the power of his prime. The danger is that he can attack me there, but I guess if I run out, I have to leave him 4 anyway. So I'm going to stay there and hope to win the fight for the 4 point, which should get me back in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks more balanced. You get like the direct return, right? If I hit you loose rather than getting hit in the outfield and not really having anything to shoot back.
Yeah, it's just if I run into the outfield and get missed, what have I achieved? How am I going to solve this problem with my 2 checkers on the 24 point?
Mm-hmm. So the value of staying there would be to make the advanced anchor, wasn't it? 18
Exactly,
or the
yes.
21. All right. I think I have like a very easy double here. Obviously I'm up in the race, like 15 on pips have much stronger board. He has three guys back. I've advanced the back checkers. Yeah, it is 5-away, but yeah, I feel like we're on that last point where I can officially double efficiently before I jump over this line of value where I'm going to lose my market. Maybe it's not enough, but it feels like even if I just roll a 1 and make the anchor, then I have an advanced anchor plus position with lots of good things going on. If I roll a 4 and he doesn't hit, that's massive. Or a 9, it doesn't hit. Or maybe if I just jump a checker out, with a 6 or a 7, then I'm just winning in the race, and I'm winning structurally anyway. So, whatever happens, I'm going to be favorite, and I like these positions. So, I'm going to cube this one.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's a good double, but as you said, you're leading in all areas of the game. So you've got the stronger board, you've got the better prime, you've got the race lead. So the only thing that could be missing is the threats, and certainly, as I said before, the main struggle is on my 4 point, my 21 point, the gap in your prime. So if you hit loose and I don't hit you back, then you're definitely going to miss your market. As far as I'm concerned, Seb and I have talked before about this score, and it's that I'm very keen to take if there's no gammons, because I don't mind too much if he wins 2 points and gets to 3 away rather than 1 point and gets to 4 away. But on the other hand, I hate taking if he wins a gammon, because that takes him to Crawford. But putting it all together, I do still have the 24-point anchor. And that makes a big difference in these positions, because even if I just lose the struggle from the fight for the 4 point, if he makes the 4 point, that I still have the 1 point gain, some defense that I might be able to get off the gammon from there, if nothing else. So I'm going to have a look at this.
Yeah, I think just win enough. So all the action, all the value, as we talked about, on the 4 point. So although I could run a guy, this is really where I'm going to get all the value. And also putting on the bar basically just stops him developing, which his position needs to become of some, serious strength. So yeah, this is clear, I think.
Right, so this might well be my best. Certainly looks pretty impressive. I don't know if I'd rather have double 2 or double 4, but this can't be too bad. So now I've won the fight for the gap in his prime, so I'm much more comfortable about the position and very pleased I take him now.
Yeah, defense established, own the cube, so I've got to get all the way to the end, which feels like a long way away now. And yeah, basically even game. So obviously you have an advanced anchor, massive incentive for me, make the golden point here. Can't see a stronger play than that. Basically equalize, make it almost into like a neutral holding advanced anchor game, kind of race dependent now. Yeah, no other play that I see.
Yeah, I think as far as the position is concerned, you still have a small edge. So you've got a small race lead, you've still got the stronger board, you've got the better anchor. But on my side, I've got the cube ownership, which might well give me some positive equity in the position. That the cube ownership is so important, so that if I can turn the game round, then I don't have to play it to the end. So 6-3, not a brilliant roll. I had a talk to Seb last week, and one of the things I mentioned was that before I played backgammon, I played chess. And one of the rules they told us in chess was that if you can't find anything urgent or constructive to do, then it's a good idea just to move your worst place piece. So at the moment, the guy on the 24 point is potentially stuck or might potentially be attacked later. So I'd like to get him into the outfield somewhere. So if I come up with a 3, I can dump 6, 9. That's a useful builder, and putting the blot in board doesn't seem good for the load. So the other choice would be to come up with 6. Then I can hit in board, but that leaves him 1s, 3s, and 6s to hit back when he's got a strong board. So I probably don't want a hitting contest. I could make the 18 point, which is good for the long term, but I'm suspicious it's a bit weak in the short term, that I can just just get attacked on 21 points. If he wins the fight for that point again, then I've got one checker stuck back against the strong board. So I'm just going to go all the way with this guy.
Mm. Yeah, interesting decision, but good guarder of the outfield there. 6-4, I think, is just a hitter, right? I have the stronger board, and I want to get up in the race. I want to just run those guys around, and this is like a perfect excuse. So also kind of slots the 10-point, which I wouldn't mind making. Gives me a nice diversified position with 2s and 3s and 5s and 6s to jump out. So yeah, pretty happy with this.
Yeah, I agree entirely with that. But you can't do anything about my 4-point anchor. You can't prime me or you can't blitz me. So the obvious way for you to win is just to get ahead in the race and convert to a race. So 4-5 comes in, it's good, and with the 5, I can come out, which gives him 1s and 4s, or I can play in board. Last time I was getting a guy from a bad point on the 24 point into the game, but now I'm quite happy with the spare on the 21 point. That's a good jumping off space into the outfield, and I can hit him without giving up the anchor. So I'm thinking this time it's right to change plan and stay there and find a 5 on the other side of the board, so I can either hit him or just go to the 1 point. Neither of them appeal a lot. So the hit would normally be right, but the problem with this is that I'm hitting behind his potential anchor. So he's got 3s to hit me and 5s to anchor. That might well be right, but the other play is just dump a checker down here. So now I'm looking at the race, and I'm only 9 behind in the race. So maybe I want to concentrate on playing reasonably safely with his strong board, try and stay in contention in the race. So I'm going to set a switch.
Yeah, interesting. Do you think that's like a type of position where if it was DMP, you would just jump out and play like a pure
yeah, for sure.
move for the win? But really what's going on is you feel like too many gammon losses on just coming out and being on the bar, and 4-0 down is...
Well, as I said, the other thing is I've got the cube ownership, so I'd like to try and exploit the cube ownership by getting to a good position and redoubling you, rather than just betting everything on a hitting exchange that will either work well or badly, but it won't tend towards giving me a good cube.
Makes sense. All right, so the 3 is very easy. Nice addition to my prime, blocking his 3 guys in. And like we said before, we're going to be jumping out with 5s and 6s. We love attacking stripped midpoints or stripped points in the outfield anyway. But as you can see, this is just where the guys have to go on their way home. So making progress.
Yeah, so making the 10-point is a useful addition.
Yeah.
So 6-5 looks like I can hit. So that's probably going to be a clear winner. So this just gains a lot in the race and gets that useful spare on the 4-point, doing something a bit more.
Yeah, wow, nice change of value for that checker, and race basically even now. So really nice move. My move is forced as I come in with a 2, and there is no other good 6. And we know it's a crime not to jump a prime, so there's a good example of that. And it's also nice to challenge this blot here. You know, imagine you roll 3-1 or something. I still have it direct on this checker, but maybe he doesn't want to move all the time. So lots of good things about this move.
Yeah, and the other good thing you said last time was that it's leaving a shot in front of the stripped midpoint. So if I roll a 4 and choose to hit, then it's really isolating my 2 back checkers, and it leaves the outfield in Seb's complete control. So I certainly won't be mad keen on hitting with a 4.
Yeah, lots of other good 4s.
So 5-3. I think I can't claim this rule because I think lots of people know this or have said it already, but that making the 5 self by a lot.
Yeah, well, solid 4 prime is perfect, efficient blocking, isn't it, against my last checker on the 23. And I really want to come up with a 1, but I don't have a 4. But the race is kind of close, and as you've got a block on the ace, maybe I can come up afterwards. So I'm thinking that I just swing this guy around, and he's a nice builder for the 9 and the 7, and then I just see what you roll. I have another look just because I do really want to play this one, and I want to make sure that there isn't like another 4 that I can justify for the gain, and that there isn't. And he would be happy to hit with a 4 now, right? Just slotting back at the prime, and sort of leading then in the race after a hit. So hopefully I'm not missing anything here. I'm just going to play this guy around, simple.
No, like you say, there just doesn't seem to be an acceptable 4 when you come up with it. There's no way you can duplicate. So I think the only other play was to come up with the 1 and give up the 10 point, but that's leaving an awful lot. And I think the other thing is my prime is not going to extend itself very easily, and especially when I got this check of how to play on the 1 point that's just not featuring in the game at all at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So 3-2. I can come down from the midpoint and try and extend the prime that way, like this. So that gives me an extra builder for the 4 point. But it leaves him free to enjoy himself in the outfield. So I think here I'm just going to cover the 1 point. And one of the useful rules in backgammon is that once you put one checker on the 1 point, it's a good idea to cover it. I think the Americans used to say, once you killed one of your children, you might as well kill the other one.
Oh, back with you. I lost connection there. So you made the ace. Have you got? Can you hear me, Jules?
Yes, yeah, fine.
Okay, cool. No, just froze for a sec. Lost the network on Grid Gammon. Yeah, so you just mentioned it being a liability. I think whenever we're turning liabilities into assets, and now you've equaled the board strength and turned all those builders into, or those priming points into attackers as well, just strengthens really the overall value of the position. No blots, no risk, nice and clean. What do we have here? 4-2. Okay, so we got some options. Again, still don't have a 4, I guess. So this would be like coming up trying to escape. But again, it's not like I'm massive rush to escape. Could play safe, which would be this, I guess. I guess that's okay. Just gets the guy safe. My initial thing was I saw this, but I just don't think that's a good enough prime to pay 13 shots. Because if you roll a 1 or a 4, what is it? Oh, it's 3-6, is it? That's 13 numbers, and it seems like if you hit, I'm going to be in trouble. It just doesn't feel like it adds enough additional value for the price I have to pay. I feel like the 4 points I have out of 6 are providing enough priming value, but I'm often wrong on these ones. So let's have a look at the 2, because again, I do want to come up. Can I duplicate the 3 like this? Again, I don't really want to have 2 blocks. So can you hit with 6-3? I guess. You don't really mind. 3-1. Race is even. So most likely to just come down with the midpoint the next roll, and then I can step up maybe with a 1 or a 2. Really not sure. It feels like if I do something like this and I'm trying to I'm doing a bit of both, and I'm trying to extend the prime or strengthen the prime and escape, trying to give myself too many things to do at the same time. I imagine if you didn't roll, next roll I'm trying to make this point, but I'm also trying to escape. That feels like I'm juggling too many things. This feels like a very naturally strong move, but again, I'm scared of you having the cube and just rolling one of those numbers. If you hit me, then I just have to break this. But it feels like I just have to break this position anyway. And again, it's 2 blocks to clean up on the next roll as well. So I might be might be just playing a bit stiff here, but I think this is just a safe builder on the structure, and I'm just going to go with that.
Yeah, I actually like the coming up and duplicating play, but it's kind of risky for me to hit. And although, as you say, it's a good general rule that you should concentrate on doing one thing rather than getting halfway towards doing 2 things, because you find that you never actually finish either of them. But as I say, I think threatening to escape and threatening to make the 5 prime. My initial thought was the same as yours, that was just make the 10 point and have the 5 prime. But I think you you came up with a very good argument to convince me away from that play.
Yeah, I like the slotting the 7 and coming up actually. But interesting, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what the computer says. Okay, so 6-5. This is probably a good roll because I mean it's a big number if nothing else. So I've got a choice. I can do priming or blitzing here. So this play hardly leaves any shots actually. So it's what is it? 3-4, 3-5, double 4. So only 5 shots. So that's probably better than I thought originally. My initial idea was to take this down and say, well, okay, I'll build a prime this way. But it's not so easy to build a prime when I've got the 1 point. And how is the 1 point going to be part of my prime? The only way it can be part of my prime is if I'm working to close him out. So this way, I'm hoping that if he stays out, maybe I make another point, or I make a run for it, or maybe I attack him next time. I have a feeling that's right. I think if I just do this, maybe it just lets him off the hook. And I mean, the best I can do here is hope to make the 4 point. And then when I've done that, where does my next point in my prime come from? I just don't have any checkers left to make it. So, like you had the big problem last time, I think I've got the big problem this time, and I'm going to go for the blitzing play. Basically, because I've got the 1 point already. So the only way the 1 point can feature in the game is if I try and close you out.
Mm-hmm. There's one of the hitters. Yeah, I immediately regretted my play after looking at it again. I thought it was a good duplication of 3s in those numbers. So obviously I hit, that's forced.
Okay, so 4-6 can play safe, but I have to strong the board now, so I've still got to do some more hitting, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think before, like when you had the prime, I think often like those coming up to the edge, those numbers, or coming up to a place where you can escape from, it's like there's so much value in that a lot of times you can afford to pay some risk because of the gain, and maybe if you get hit, you know, you can make an advanced anchor, or it still works out positively. So,
what did you think of my 5-6? Did you think that was right or wrong?
I honestly don't know. They both look good. I can see.
I thought they were both hard plays we have there. But,
yeah, it's easier when it's someone else's play, I think. And it looks so natural to come down with both, just because you know, the race is close, and that's kind of like the way the position naturally develops. But I could see a lot of merit for hitting after you said, like, you've already got the ace point and buy some time, maybe escape the back checkers. Just looks, yeah, doesn't look great.
yeah, it's certainly loose.
Yeah, a little bit, but we'll see. So this is forced, of course, coming with a 3 and the only available 2, and it's always nice to have a spare on the 6 point. So happy to play the 2 there.
So 5-2. So I can play safe here. So if I play safe, what's the race like? Seems I'm actually ahead in the race. Probably. Never mind. Or I can do an aggressive play. So that would be hitting with a 5. Then I probably don't want him to hit with all the 1s, so I'd come down. So now I'm leaving him 3s and 4-3. So that's not a lot, that's only 13 shots. But what if I just come down and give him a chance to escape? He doesn't have a big threat. Yeah, again, I'm not sure about this.
Difficult.
One way, this aggressive play, the problem puts me off is it leaves 3 blocks, and I have a race lead at the moment. So if I've got a race lead, maybe I should just try and keep my race lead. Maybe you won't get out. Maybe I can attack next time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this makes sense. In terms of the percentages, for you to leave 3 blocks means that you're leaving a lot more gammons against you, aren't you?
Yeah,
which means they have to provide like a number of wins to compensate. And as you're already just winning the race, how much more would that position be winning? Obviously, you might win some gammons of your own, although they seem far off, but just didn't seem like that was a good deal. Whereas you can just win like this, right? Sort of no fuss.
Yeah, I suppose the positive of this play, which I hadn't noticed, is it actually adds a point. And I always say to people that you want to make points and not leave blocks. So just when you look at the final position and you say one position has 1 point less and 3 blocks more, that kind of weighs the scales very clearly in one direction.
Yep, additional value. So here, you know, again, I kind of like all the placement, efficiently placed checkers, except the lone back checker, who's kind of going to be a nuisance if he gets hit. I just want to guard the outfield. I just want to focus all my energy on containing those 3 back checkers, or maybe closing those 3 guys out, depending on what happens, but just kind of controlling their escape. So I think this is going to be best. Some good ones as well. Maybe you want to slot the 4 or something. The only other reasonable alternative would be something like this, but you know, I really don't want that checker there at the moment, so I just go for the outfield, I think.
Yeah, I like that play a lot. I mean, if you stay back, then you're continually going to be under the danger that well, some joker to point on you. So the sooner you get out of there, the sooner, as you say, that you can work on controlling the outfield. The other player I saw was to break the midpoint with the 3, on the basis that it's not part of your prime, and maybe you want to add the 5th point in the prime. But I'm sure your play is right. As I say, getting that last guy out and avoiding any long-term problems back there is the way to go. So 6-2, I can't move the back checkers, so I have to play this 6. And I definitely don't want to lose ground in the race, so I've got to save the 2.
Yeah, I didn't want to be against up on the bar against the 4-point board. So 3-2, this is kind of interesting. So I want to stay back as far as possible to contain the guy that's jumping out, right? Inevitably, he's going to run with the 5 and be forced out with, well, 3-6 can't move. So I guess all the 6s are killed. But he's going to come out with 5s, and he's going to come out with whatever he can anyway to save his board. The problem is I don't really want to get hit, so I don't want to, even though I added builder this way to make another point in the prime like the 7 or the 9, I risk, I guess I leave just 3-6, 5-4 as well, I guess. And double 3 is blocked, so just 4 shots. And then where would the 2 be? Maybe it could be here, but I don't really like that. So my initial just instinct in these positions is to slot like the next point behind to make the board as strong as possible, and then keep as far away as possible. So here, basically, while keeping all the points in front as they are, and then just making the board as strong as possible. So I think this is like the natural move that I would play. But again, I do struggle with these, and maybe because of the weakness, like you have the 3 and the 4 open, you have a dead checker, that would definitely be one of the variables where we would lean towards making, well, what would appear to be risky and riskier plays, but they're not because of the weakness of your board. But we're so trained, I guess, into just being standard when you have like a very strong 4 or 5 point board. I don't want to give the extra. I just want to develop the position this way, I think. So.
Yeah, the good thing with this is that you're keeping an eye on the 5-6, so that's one of my really good rolls. You definitely don't want to turn that into a hitting roll.
Yeah, I don't want to turn that. That's true.
Okay, so 5-4. I can just play it all in board, or it can come out. And I think Seb summed it up last time by saying I was going to come out with almost anything, and now he's left a blot on the 2 points. I'm even more keen to do it. So at least if I can get that guy out and round, that gives me better chances in the race. And with the 4, I can't see any reasons to be not diversified in my home board. At 5-1 leaves my 2 spares on the same point.
Yeah, and generate some friction, some chances, but also just get into the race with the inefficiently paced third man back. Now I'd love to hit, but it doesn't really seem like it's providing a whole lot. Not a lot of extra gammons as you have the anchor anyway, and you have a 4 point board, so it might cost me some games as I have to leave like 4 blocks. I have this kind of nice structure position against your anchor, which you're not very happy about. it's going to be difficult to get out of. So I think I just, obviously I want to safety this guy, and I think I just want to play like this, and then wait and see what happens, and just be happy that I'm winning this position and don't need to risk 4 blots and sort of a crazy play without enough value. Have another look at it. 4 hits, no 2. Yeah, just can't see it. Even with the board like this, you know, if 3 of the checkers were dead, I would definitely start considering this, but it still feels like your position is strong enough to just turn it around, right, in one roll from the bar with a hit.
Yeah, I really like this kind of position you've got here, because you've kind of got 2 ways to win. So if you get a good race lead, you can just try and bring the position home safely. But on the other hand, if I get to be ahead in the race, you get this option of saying, well, you're not just priming, but you're attacking the last guy when I run one out. So you've kind of got both options to play depending on how the game goes. So 6-5 looks like a good shot. This is going to be the 6. And then the question is, can I come out with the 5? And it really does look a bit too risky. So that's giving what? 1s and 4s to hit outside, 4s and 6s to cover. So that's something. 2 even numbers are going to be really good for you, that you can hit and cover any way you like, really. So that does seem a bit risky. So if I do that, I keep the anchor for a while. If I come in, that kills my 6s. Is that good or bad? I think it's probably bad, to be honest, but I don't want to be wasting 6 pips. And I have good 6 at the moment. I can play 10 to 4 with my 6. Now I'm going to stay outside and play another guy to the 1 point. I guess that's bad for a race anyway, but probably not so bad as coming in and not playing the 6s. So that looks really unusual. So this is the natural play, I think, and I'm trying to find some reason why I don't want to do this. Guess my 5s go to the 1 point anyway. So this might just be too clever. Keeping the 6. What's the 6 going to come with? It's not going to come with much anything good, really. Is it? So let's just play it safe and bring it in and play the natural move.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. So I really wanted to just cover the guy on the 2, because that's the best way to pressure his escape. But now I can't do that. So what are the alternatives? Well, I can't leave a shot, I think, because that's one of the points of my prime. But that would be the way to cover. And you know, if he was down to like a crunched 2-point board or a crunched 3-point board, this would be the kind of play I'd be making, to squeeze him off with like a forced 3 or 4 or 5. But that's not the position we've got to yet. So I think, although it's boring, I think I just play this guy in. Let's have a look. So 5-4, it's kind of not that good anyway. 3-6 forced. Don't really want to make that good. Although actually 3-6 is blocked, so you only have to play the 3, so it's not really a big change. I think I have to do this because the alternative is to play a guy behind you, and I really don't want to do that. But actually that might be okay, because now it's a 1 to cover, 2s, 4s, and 6s to hit you. I kind of have a 6 with this guy here anyway. But it means I don't have to pay the 4 shots. So although it actually looks really unnatural, it makes some sense. I'm still behind, what, 11 pips? So now you're forced off, and I just don't have the extra blocks. This way, it's not actually like an extra builder to make the 4. And it doesn't give me like another number to then hit you and cover the 2 points. So actually, I kind of sold myself on this play.
Yeah, I like that play, but I think that my position's got to a critical stage, so that probably next turn I'm probably going to have to kill some more checkers, and you can stand being hit much more comfortably. So just not being hit on roll 1, I think, is a big plus.
Yeah, it's just really unnatural playing checkers past the anchor.
So 5-3, and now I've got the option to come out with 1 or 2. So let's look at coming out with both first. Probably easiest to dismiss. So this is 1s, 3s, 4s, 6s, 1, 4, 6. Cover. So 2 and reject that play very quickly, but it's not so terrible. So this is 1, 2, 4, 6 again. 3. I've got a 2 to put on the 4 point. Maybe that's not going to be clean. 2x, I guess 2, 4, 2, 6. You can put some cover. 1. So what about the numbers that are bad, the 3s and 5s? What do you do with those? They don't seem to do anything anyway. So what's the race like? I'm leading by 19, so that's a good argument for coming out. And if I stay back, then it really looks as though it's the last chance saloon, that I've killed 4 checkers and that I'm going to lose any hitting contest. So let's have a look at this coming out, see how it looks. So if you hit with a 1, you have to cover with 1, 4, 6, 1, 2, 4, 6, no 3s and 5s. So what if I get away with it? What if you do nothing and just cover a blot? Can I save everything? Probably not. So the other play is this one. This looks as though there's too many hits here. And I'm not threatening to make an anchor. Yes, maybe that sells me on this one. So now I guess if you hit me with a 1 and you cover, I can come in with a 4 of an anchor again and try the same position. So I'm going to go with this one in the end.
Yeah, very difficult. Not the kind of decision you want. 5-4. Not really what I wanted to see.
Yes, as long as that's a 5 and a 3, then there's hope for me.
So what do we do here? This is not so fun. I really want to hit you, but I can't, I don't think. So if I hit, I guess the 5 would be here to make this structure. Even here, DMP. 4, I really want to make the 2 point as well. But then there's no 5. I can't really justify giving you a shot. Can I, like this? Can I give you this? If you miss, it's good. So what's the safe play? It's just this, clearing the prime. Oof, God, it's horrible. This, 3, 6, 5, 4, that's 15. So I can't do that, can I? So let's say even like 3, 1, 5, 1. 10 pips. So I'm in, I have a dilemma because I want to contain you because otherwise you're just going to scuttle away in the race. But I don't seem to be able to pay any risk that I feel comfortable with because it's just going to make me lose immediately anyway on a bunch of numbers. So I need to have a look like, am I just going to lose anyway this way? Because this is the only safe play that I can see. I could come down with both, I guess, and try and stop you this way. But again, like if you just roll a 5 or a 3, it's over. So that's like 20 numbers. So this way, at least if you jump one out, then you have to safety the other one. And it's 10 pips, but you have 2 pips of wastage, right? And you have a gap on the 3 and a gap on the 4. So really the race might be like 5 pips or a lot closer anyway. So I think I'm just going to do this. As much as it pains me, I really want to do this. I mean, I'd love to do this if I could get away with it. I mean, there's an argument that says I get hit, I can still come in and do something. If you don't roll a 6 here, it's obviously fantastic. And I really hate this because I still have the same problem next row, which is I still have the blot on the 2 point. So I'm not happy about this, basically. Not happy about any of the options, but none of them make sense to me. So I just play this.
Okay, so now I did think of doubling this, but I think I really need an 8 to have won this game. So given I've only got 3, 5, and 6, 2, I'm sure I have to wait. So 6, 3. So now maybe the answer is I just threaten to get to a very good race. So now he's got 3s to hit, 1, 3, 4, 6 to cover. At least this almost gets me home. So with the other play, if I just do something like this, then I've got to roll 10 or better not to leave a shot next time. So he's not under so much pressure. He just covers his 2 points, and then if I run into the outfield, then he can get his shots to hit again. So I'm just going to try and make my run for home now.
This is exactly what I was worried about, and you know, obviously you would have danced the other way. So still really don't like my play. 3, really happy that saves the day, basically hitting. So now the question is, do I need to leave 3 blots and an extra 6/4, or do I have enough covers and can I just play with 2 blots and not leave the extra 6/4, right, which wouldn't win? And I think I don't need it. If you hit me with a 2 and maybe I dance, maybe have some indirect shots, it doesn't feel like I need the extra. I guess it's an extra builder for the 4-point. That's kind of good. But I'm still trying to cover the 2-point first, and I'm just kind of winning the race. So yeah, don't think I can justify the 3 blots. Extra 6/4. No, doesn't seem to make sense to give you extra 2 numbers.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment I still have the stronger board, so I think you're spot on here.
I mean, I'd like to do it. Okay, so the question is, do we go with the 3 or the 4? Obviously, if we go with the 4, then that saves us an extra builder to make the 4 points. 3 comes down, then we get 4 builders to make the 6. The 4, just leaving 4, 6. That's only 2 numbers, so that looks like it's going to be best. If we go with the 3, we come down with the 4. Well, now we leave 4, 6, which actually jumps over us, and 4, 5, and we don't get the extra builder for the 4 point. So it's going to be better this way. You could argue that, you know, why give the 4, 6, but now I feel like the 4th builder for the 4 point is definitely worth the 2 shots. If I play something like this and he comes in with like a 4 or even a 1, you can see the race is still kind of close, and I'm really going to value making the 4 points. So I think this is.
Yeah, I mean, Gaz made a good point last week when he said that you can approximate the number of points, number of rolls that make the points as the square of the builders. So if you've got 4 builders, you've got 16 point making numbers, and the other way you have 3 builders, so you have 9. So you virtually doubled your chance of making the 4 point for the cost of 2 shots. So you've given yourself basically seven numbers, extra numbers to make the 4 point in exchange for 2 shots, which sounds like it's a good exchange.
Yeah, I think whenever you're getting like a 3 or 4 to 1 in the ratio exchange, you're doing well. 5-2. Obviously, I don't make the 4 point, which is what I was looking to make, but I think I still make the ace. And you know, there are some gammons if I close him out, and he's got this one guy in the outfield. So this way, I can close him out next roll, still only leaving 2 numbers, 3 builders. If I don't make the ace, then you can see he's got just more numbers to come in with and get into the race. So that would be risky. If I didn't make it, basically, and very efficient to use the daily builder on the 3 point.
Right, so we're in.
I think that made sense.
And I guess I don't want to be there and be hit. Now he's got the stronger board. He's not under any pressure to hit me. What forces a shot? Only 6. 6, 6 looks like the only number leaves a shot. I think I've just got to try and get into a bad race. It's better than no race.
Yeah, definitely. Still, you could still get pointed on, or you could just get interrupted in racing, and that's got to be your best chance of winning. So go for that. Really important to fill in the gaps on the 4 and the 5 in the bearer. So really happy to play the 6 and slot into the 4 here, and then 5 just comes in, of course.
So 3, 2. My focus is on the 4 point now. That's a big gap in my board that worries me. So I can fill it with a 2, but that means I don't make a crossover. So I'm tempted just to bring a guy round. What I'd like to do is play 5 to 4 to start the 4 point. But this way I've got 6s and 1s to go to the 4 point next time.
Lovely. 5-4 come in. Nice distribution.
So 5-1. So now I think it's clear I come in and then start 4 points. So I get 1 crossover anyway. Now I've still got the 6. A double 1 is useless, being only 4 pips. So I can play 10 to 6. That gets me a crossover, but doesn't look like a very good bear-off position. So what if I give up 1 crossover and try and put the inner board checkers where I want them? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so on the positive note, this leaves me with 16 crossovers, which is an even number. And that it decides things.
Set up a good double 5 as well.
The double 4 doesn't gain a roll, it's nothing special. So this is all dead and buried now, I think.
Oh, I've seen worse than this. Oh,
Right, I'm just going to take 1 minute break, if that's okay.
So while we're having this little break, did you want to put in a mention for your backgammon workshop sale?
Oh, sure. Yeah, thanks, Julian. We're having a flash sale this week, half price on the 3-lesson package course, which is usually £150 this week. Just for exclusively for UK BGF members, it's £75. So comes highly recommended. 3 hours. Yeah, match play stuff, all good. Backgammon, beautiful knowledge, and yeah.
Right, yeah, so that was a very good idea of Julia's. Yeah, so the sale's going on at the moment. For the last few weeks, we've been doing these matches, and I'm sure a lot of people have enjoyed them because I think there's been about 300 views on each of the videos that Julia's kindly provided on the UK BGF site. So if you're a UK BGF member, then you're entitled to this cheap offer that we're offering at the moment. And if you're not a UK BGF member, then you can email us at bgwsuk@hotmail.com or have a look at the website bgws.co.uk. Right, okay, so back to the match. So Seb is now leading 2-0, so he's leading 3 away, 5 away. So I'd be quite keen on winning a gammon to get to Crawford. So as usual, 4 and 5 points I want to fight for, so I'm hitting off there, and with no other good one, I would just split.
Yeah, I would say like me being 3 away, really keen to get an advanced anchor, take all the gammons out of the game. That's sort of my initial plan or mode at this score.
Okay, so 4-2. I can come in with a 2 or a 4. I don't really want to be stuck back on 23 points. I want to come in with a 4. And I can either make the anchor or hit. This to me is a close decision. That making the anchor is definitely good because it is an asset, but it's kind of giving him a free hand to enjoy himself, so he can make his advanced anchor with a 2. He's got 1, 3, 6 combos to make the 5 point, and I'm behind in the race already. So I think maybe I just have to play a bit more backward game here and say, well, if I'm behind in the race, I don't mind randomizing the position and seeing if I can catch up.
Yeah, difficult because obviously, like, you don't really want to play one of the valuable spares from the 6, but you do want to fight for the 5 and the 4 and stop me developing as well. So very valuable to hit loose there. Yeah, I think again this kind of play that you've just made is score dependent. Like normally we say when defending, make a defensive place, right? So establish the defense, make the advanced anchor, and then go from there. And if you were 2-0 up, I'm sure you would have done that.
Yeah, exactly. No, so that's a very good point.
I danced kindly. I opened the gate.
Right. Okay. So that is good news for me, but I don't want to get over exuberant at the moment. I'm still behind in the race. I haven't got a stronger board. My only advantage is you're on the bar, so I can definitely take a roll to improve. So 6-3, I can hit or cover, and one of the rules I have is that it's almost always right to cover the slot you make. So if you slot the 5 or the 4 points, what you're hoping for is if you're not hit that you can cover it next time. So I think it's wrong to just ignore that. So if he's got no checkers back, then I definitely send one back here. But the fact he's got 2 back already, I think it's a big plus to make another point in board and not get hit.
Yeah, makes sense. You got the advantage, right? I'm stronger in the board while I'm on the bar, and I've got to come in first. So whatever happens, you got the lead out of this sequence.
Yeah, I guess you've got another 3 numbers at fan.
Oh, or 4, 3 or 4.
Okay, so now maybe I do have something. So I'm trailing by 5 in the race, but I've got the better board, and he's on the bar. So what can I hit him with? 7s, 9s, 10s. So half a dozen 7s, 4 9s. So that's 10 shots, and 6 4s, 12 shots. So are they going to be killing when I find one of these? I don't think they are. So being 5 away, I think I'm not going to be unhappy if I end up winning 1 point, getting to 4 away, because then I can win the match on the next game. So very pleased it's improved so much, but still I think no double. So 6-3 is a hit. Can't see any reason not to do that.
Yeah, interesting. I would probably be a bit more aggressive at this score and might have cubed that one. But see what you're saying.
Okay, so now I might well be in business. So now I have the race lead, the stronger board, and he's on the bar. In terms of threats, there's probably not a lot of wipeout threats here. Maybe 3-3, 3-5, 4-4, 5-5. But there's a term for this position that I learned from the Americans. They call 2 feet down. Is that he hasn't got an anchor, but he's got 2 half anchors. So even if I point on one of his blocks, that he's got an immediate option of anchoring next time. So I don't think I'm too good here. But on the other hand, the score is telling me that I do want to double. So it's definitely improved since last time because I've sent another checker back. So now I think this is a good time to gamble it up.
Yeah, very good position. I'm obviously not happy about it, but it's still kind of early. And I know at 3 away, 5 away, if there aren't that many gammons, have a very low take point. If there are no gammons, obviously I get to forfeit with 2 points, and he only gets to 3 away as well. And if I pass, he gets to the valuable 4 away score. So not very keen on passing, but obviously when the gammons come into the equation, I'm not very keen on taking. But just like he said, he's only got 2, 4, 6, 8 checkers in the zone, as they would call it, but 2 spares. And I'm kind of favourite to anchor. I would be delighted if I had made an improvement like the 10 point and any kind of asset. Then I'd be very happy to take. But this still feels a bit dodgy. But following the theory and the score dynamics, I'll take it.
Yeah, I think you're right to take on account of the fact that even if the worst possible happens and you get gammons, then it's still only 4-2, so you've still got 25% chance of winning the match. Maybe if I was 4 away, then you could talk yourself into a pass, but at 5 away, I don't think you should be terrified of my threats here. So 6-1. I can try attacking by hitting on the 2 point, but that's not really the block I want to hit because it means he can hit me back with a 2 or he can anchor with a 3 and then the guy on the 2 point looks stupid. So if I could hit on the 3 point, then I would do probably, but hitting on the 2 point isn't what I want. So maybe I just quietly improve and make the 7 points and say I'm going to play a priming game. So that gives him lots of 2s everywhere, so that's good. So he wants 2 to anchor, 2 to hit on the 4 point, 2 to hit on the 11. So that looks a clear winner.
Strong improvement. Danced again. You see, it was a bad omen. That's why they say if you dance 6-6 on a 1 point board, you just got to give the game up. It's a bad sign,
Yes. And what start line are you?
Don't know that one.
Right, so 6-4, so I can hit loose on the 3-point, but I can also point on the 2-point. So point, making another point and board. Now he's got 2 on the bar. I've got a 3-point board. Now there's vistas opening up.
Yeah, so I'm in real trouble here. Basically, anything but a 3, and yeah, it's very bad. Well, that's still pretty bad, but that's very good.
Yeah, well, you got in.
3 feet down. That's what it is.
Yeah, you can't exercise your skill when you're on the bar. So I can certainly hit loose on the 5-point. That's the obvious play to me. That's certainly not terrible. Is there anything fancy I can do? So this looks like a fancy play. And that gives him 5s to hit on the 5-point, 5s to hit on the 8-point. And once he's hit with the 5, then the 2 is duplicated to make the ankle hit outside, but it's a lot of blocks. And 1 less point. So maybe I just hit him on the 5-point and don't do anything too clever. So what about a safe play? Just make anything. So that leaves him 2s and 4s to anchor. I think that just lets him off the hook too much. So at the moment he hasn't got a board, so maybe I just take a risk and say, well, if I get sent back, it's not the end of the world. But he has shown he likes to fan on these boards.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think what's important is like when the score shifts like this, the values change a lot. So winning a gammon for you is now like precious, isn't it? It's like it's a massive value in this match. So you're heavily weighted towards making these plays, and me the reverse. So let's see if I can come in here. Alrighty, so that was good, and there's 2 was duplicated. This is interesting because obviously you don't actually have a cover for the 5-point, so like it's one of those positions that you could justify hitting another checker as there are no covers there. But I just think like that's the anchor that I want to make, so I want to slot this point as well as hitting you. So I think that's a better 2.
Yeah, it's a double 3. That's normally a brilliant roll, but I've put my checkers on the wrong places to make it any good. So this is an exercise in saying how you can mess up a good position. Normally with double 3, you could make the 5-point and the 3-point, and here I can't do either. So I can come in, and again, I think I just have to pursue my attack. So I'm getting a bit short of material now, but he still hasn't got a board. It's still not going to be terminal if I get hit.
Yeah, that was the value I think of keeping the 7-point in your other play, that I'm always going to maybe end up in this 24-point game, and that's a valuable part of the prime as well. 5-3 really happy. Obviously they're coming and hit, and then the 3 is very easy because hitting a second checker helps me buy some time. It's obviously just a stronger play, putting 2 on the bar and slots a inner board point, and there's no other reasonable 3. So yeah, got to be fighting from behind here to turn this game around.
Yeah, so I like the play. Would you describe the 3 as hitting as an aggressive play or defensive play?
It's both, I think.
Yes. So you're taking away half my roll, so I can't attack. But at the same time, if I don't hit you, you're very happy to make that point and get a point in board yourself.
Yeah, I think that also when there's an upside in the downside, you see I get hit here, but now maybe I can improve the defense, and that's what I have to do. Then it makes the play easy. 5, we're happy, aren't we? Now we have the defense, 2 points. 3, not liking so much hitting now because it's not as balanced. Those checkers really I want to make the 5-point with, having 4 checkers back. So 3 here is more natural and balanced to make kind of an outside prime, 7, 9, 5. So I'm probably going to do this just because I don't really see like the follow up to this. It just looks like it's creating a weaker position, and we need the strongest position possible when we're coming from having 4 checkers in defense. Slotting the 5 again, I'd prefer to have 2 covers, right? Stripping the 8-point and also just leaving a bunch more shots doesn't seem reasonable.
Yeah, I like this play. I'm always suspicious of plays that hit behind the anchor. That it's like, well, okay, if you get away with it and you make it, you've made a point behind an anchor and you put 2 checkers out of play. So that doesn't look like the right idea. So 3-5 looks like a difficult number. So the guy on the 3-point can't move at all. So unless I come off the anchor, I've just got to do this 3. I could come down with a 5, tempting to hit me with a 3. He probably won't like hitting with a 3. But what am I going to do with that guy next time? I guess I just save it with a 1 or a 2. And if I come out, that looks like the natural play that I want to get that guy in the outfield. I'm not worried about being hit on the 9-point. And I'm attacking his blocks, which is a positive. I have a strong board, so yeah, I think this is right.
Yeah, it makes sense. Just want to get round. Don't see the value in making the 8-point. Double 1, all right, lovely. So I hit with 1, make the 5-point with the next 2, and then we think about the last one. Now obviously I would like to do this, and this is the natural play to make when you have a back game, just to slot the points that you want and play purely. But being 2-0 up and in this position feels like I'm just kind of accepting that fate of playing this 5-1 back game, which I don't really want to play, right? What I want to do is I want to roll a 4 and just play 24-20 and then convert into this holding game so I get out of all the gammons I lose and into some kind of race. So that's why I'm just going to lift this checker with the 1 and not leave all these return shots and just see if I can get into some kind of game and not have 6 checkers back. And
yeah, I mean, one thing the computers taught us about back games is that you don't want to play them and you want to get out of them. So entirely agree with your play that leaving 3s, 4s and 6s as returns is just too much. So 3-1 is not a bad roll. I come in and I can put my 2 escapers on different points, so I've got lots of numbers to come out.
So I think I'm actually going to split as well with a 2. So I don't want to be on the 24-point. 3-1 is really horrible. So I guess we could slot the 9, but that leaves 5s and 6s, so I'm not delighted about that. And also I don't have another spare on the mid, so I can't cover the 9. I want to play this 3, but then I don't have 1. Could I ever come off the anchor? I don't think so. That's my most valuable asset. So leave double shot here, 3s and 4s, but at least I can cover with a 6 this way. Or leave double shot here, 5s and 6s, and can't really cover. I think if we just follow the data, got to do it this way.
Okay, so 3-6. I have a hit, so that looks clear. And then with the 6, I can come down or come out. Coming down is not unreasonable, but I do really want to get into the outfield. But what I'm trying to do here is stop Seb's back checkers communicating with his front checkers. So he's got the 5-point, he's got some kind of a game for a long time. So I can't wipe him out. The game just goes on for a long time.
This is a position I recognise as being one of my weaknesses. So it's clearly like the value I want to come in with the 5. I wanted to come with any 5, but it means that the 1 I have to do this, and that gives up all my structure essentially for later. And you want like a good structure for winning the game and for the long term when you have lots of checkers back and defense like this. It's not like I can hit and expect to win the game coming forward. So the alternative will be coming with a 1, which I really don't want to do because he's kind of stuck. But we've said before, I could roll a 2, I could roll a 4, so he's not completely dead. And the 5 then does actually just kind of replace the spare on the 8 and makes kind of a balanced position. And that's why I'm really tempted by this. I also think this doesn't get gammoned as much, which is one of the values I'm keeping an eye on at this score. However much I would like to make this play, this might be the all-in DMP play. This looks very difficult. If he hits one of the blocks on the 7 or 8, I have to remake the position somehow, and that feels like it's going to take forever. So as unnatural as this feels like all my moves are horrible. I'm going to play it this way, but this is the mistake that I usually make. So I'm happy to make it again and be reminded once more that I should hit here. God, it looks bad playing it this way as well, though. It looks bad playing it this way. I mean, I guess I could pick up the other block. Maybe like don't hit back, it will come out. It's not really a fun position to be in. Maybe I stick with the gammon comment that I made. See if that has enough value. I don't like either play actually. I don't like either position because even if like from here, how do I play 5s and 6s next roll? I'm not happy with that. So maybe the idea is like I've got the 5-1 game. I can just recycle and just come in again, and it's not that bad. All right, I'm gonna go with my instinct.
Yeah, I think that's the right play. I think as I said last time, it's not possible to win the game quickly here. So what you want to do is avoid losing it quickly. So giving up the 8 points and leaving 2 blocks strikes me as a path that takes you into quick losses in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So now I think I have a good play here just in doing this. I mean, I can play 4 wildly, but the 4, I don't think he's ever going to hit me with a 4. He's desperate to play his 4 up to 24 point.
Cheeky duplication there. All right, double 1 is forced. I have to play 3 here, 1 here. Just yeah, it's reasonable.
Yeah, I remember I had a game many years ago with someone where he showed me how rolling double 1 too many times can destroy your position. But I don't think you're there just yet, but you're getting close to it.
Yeah, 2 more and it will look funny.
So now I can make a bid for freedom, just try and come home this way. So that's certainly one idea. Or I can hang on to the anchor and leave some blocks. So what about leaving 1 block? You probably won't choose to hit this one. This gives me double coverage in the outfield if he comes out with 3 or 5, something like that. I still think he'll hate hitting with a 6. So those are the 2 plays. Let's look at the racing play. I think this may be a bit too committal because it comes off the anchor, so he can just build his board, and then when I get hit, it'll be the end of the world. So can I actually just think that I can improve my position for a few rolls? If I hold the position, who's going to get better? And I think I'm going to get better if he can't free a back checker. So I think this is the right thing to do for the moment.
Yeah, interesting. I like the coming out play, but I understand this. So hit or no hit? That's the question. Let's have a look. Because that's what I thought. I thought I'd be actually quite happy to hit and another guy that had 3 prime. Your position is kind of difficult to improve. So let's say I hit, then the 2 must be here, and that is where I want to play the 2. And you can see the 2s are duped for Julian to hit back on the 11 and the 5 point. 2s are duped to enter, and now the race is only 20 pips, and I am getting out of there. If I don't hit, maybe it hits me, I just kind of stay there. But, you know, worst case scenario, this way, I basically just go back into the same position I was in. But I have a chance here of getting out of this and coming forward. So, yeah, happy with this, actually. I think hitting is okay. Even though I leave 3 bloods, then I obviously get gammon more. I just feel like it wins enough. This is 40 pips. You only have like this weird 3 points. Yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think you're right that the 24-16 was the move I was trying to prevent. So 4-1, two nice plays. I can come in and do nothing, and then just ask him the question: how many of his blocks can he save? Or I can fly hitting. That would be 1 and 4. So on the downside, the problem is that I'm worried about him anchoring on the 20 points, and this doesn't cut down his chances of doing it that much. So he can hit with 3s and anchor with 5s, and happy with both of those. Or if I just leave him alone, what will he do? 2 or 4 he can anchor with, he'll be very happy with that. So what's the race like? I still have a race lead. So if I make the bold play, is there a big upside? If he stands, I'm left with 2s and 4s. Good. Yeah, I think this gives them threes and fives that are good for him, and the other way leaves them with twos and fours are good for him. But again, this is a play that's good for the long term.
Yeah, difficult. Again, at the score, I'd be inclined to go for the hit and just uh, think. I'd imagine that one a lot more gammons. You know, not normally say if someone has a lot of blots floating around, we try and put someone on the bar and get them to try and clean up. But this has so much merit, right? Playing the spare to the six is lovely. Having the spare on the anchor.
No, I've got all my checkers in the right place, but as you say, the downside is I haven't hit.
All right, so 5-2. Could make the 22, but that leaves like two blots like this and no 5 that duplicates anything. So I think we re-establish the double anchor, even though I'm not mad about it. This just must be a stronger position, and this also protects my one loose block that I have coming around here now. Can't see any other reasonable play.
Okay, so 3-1 is useless. I haven't jumped to prime, so I think the only play is just to come down here.
Yep, just put in there. So what do I need? Fours are still duped, so that's good. Fours are duped everywhere. Aha. So what do we do here? My immediate reaction is to do this. That dupes your four to cover, kind of gets me out of there. But do I want to come for the back anchor when I'm still 20 pips down? Normally we want to keep the back anchor, but here that does kind of release the checkers to where I want them to go. Obviously I'd like to play the four here. So can I hit? Again, does the same things apply? Hitting gets me closer in the race, but do I lose enough gammons? I could stay there and duplicate the fours like this. Ones and twos, you need to come in. If you hit back, I could remake the anchor with a 5, maybe come in with a 3, that's not so bad. But now look, it's really close. It's only 7 pips, so this must win so many games. So for it to be wrong, I'd have to lose me like a lot of gammons. And I just don't see like losing gammons when you have 4 checkers behind my little 3' now. So it's uncommon to break these anchors, but it puts me in it puts me in real contention. I could do this, but then I'd be giving him a 5, and his 5s are blocked from the bar, so I want to avoid giving him good 5s and 6s. So that's why I dupe the 4 and play it this way. Also unduplicates my own 4 to make it afterwards. I could be crazy, but I feel like this is okay.
No, I think you put up a good argument for this play, and the other thing is you're threatening to make the 8 point now, so your little 3' might have some ambition to growing a bit.
No, I like my first play, but yeah, I just like talking through the variables.
Okay, so now again, I think I've only got one player. I don't want to leave him a free option to improve, and now there is actually a possibility that I can win the fight with a 5 point.
Yeah, I really don't like coming off that anchor, but at least it makes it exciting. 5-2, wow, what a number. So I hit, that's great. And you can see I've got these 3 blots around, and I really don't want him to make the second anchor or come in and hit me. So the way to protect all those blots, I think, is to hit the second one. That buys me some time. That's obviously positive. If you hit me, I can come in and make the 5 again. But yeah, it's very, very strong, putting 2 on the bar and forcing your play. Any other 2 is just weak, I think. Debatable that I could just do that. And maybe this is too many blots, but I think this is just too strong to pass up, basically. Get 3s and 5s, I've got 4s at the back. Yeah, I think winning the fight for that point is very valuable. But again, at this score, there's an argument to be made that I just want to clean up and play simple. And yeah, I could get behind that as well, but it's just too tempting. You know, the other 2 on the bar.
2-1, I've come in.
It does feel a bit loose, but I'm in a loosey goosey mood. All right, 6-2. Aha. So I can't make the 3 point, which was the idea, but I can make the 8 point, and that I'm really happy about because that's a solid 4 prime, and you have 5 checkers back. So that must be the best improvement I can make to this position, I'd imagine.
So 5-2, this is a good roll. So couple of 2s I can hit on the 5 point or hit on the 3 point, but the 5 is definitely jumping over the prime. And much as though I've been fighting for the 5 point all the game so far, I think this is not the time to
right, yeah, and you also get a guy who can now jump out and jump the prime, so massive
Right,
value
so
there.
finally you found again.
We're back.
I thought you'd strategically outmaneuvered me by using all your fans early in the game to get me to cube you, and then you win every time. So now is it time to switch to the brute force approach this way and just have a strong board? And the problem here is I've still got all these checkers behind your prime. So what about if I try and jump the prime somehow? Seems much less forceful. I know making this point is wrong because I've got the 2 points, so that's not part of my prime. So how about something like this? It looks quite tempting. It gives me a lot of the outfield. So what's the upside with this play? I guess you're on the bar against a 4-point board, and I'm hoping that, and it fills in a gap. Yes, and now I've got 5 points out of 6, so that's really nice. But can I count on jumping your prime? That's the important thing. There's a lot of work to do to get over that prime. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm going to follow your hint as to what's going on in this position. I neglected to do that when I played Gaz, so I'm going to follow your rule and say, well, I want to try and win some gammons in this position, and this is clearly going to win more gammons.
Yeah, that's for sure. We do know it's a crime not to jump the prime, though, so that's difficult, isn't it? Nice to make the 16 points so the other guys can escape. That's definitely a more of a winning play DMP idea, isn't it? But yeah, probably still win some games this way. Difficult when you're like disconnecting the position, but adds lots of value. Always tough. All right, 5-4. Well, this is probably best number, right? Come in, make the anchor, and I can hit this guy, slot the back of the prime, which we always want to do. That's the safest way to extend the prime. I think that's clear. I could play the 4 here, I guess, and that's probably debatable. I could just do this. But he's winning the race, so what, he just jumps over or doesn't jump over, and then what happens? Well, he's got a lot of guys to jump over. This is a score where you could advocate something like this. Let's say, but this way, just look at some of the numbers he has, like maybe 4-3. Does that play? Yeah, something like that. 2-4. I guess that plays just about. 1-4 plays, so 4-3 has got to be the worst. But 4-4, 3, some bad entry numbers. I guess there's kind of a lot of hits though. A few hits, not that bad, but I might get gammons. So actually, this play kind of looks okay, right? I kind of own the outfield. I've released the guy from the stuck primed point, and I'm coming out. But it just seems it seems too good to hit and slot the back of the prime like this, even though I'm duping my fours for later. It just feels like yeah, another guy behind the solid 4 prime. But it's a big risk because if you do come out and hit, then I might end up with 2 on the bar. And, so this is definitely tempting. Let's have another look. So I start from here, come in with a 5. It just looks too good not to do this.
Yeah, it's certainly the best way to win the game. I'm just trying to count how many shots it is. So it's 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6. So 16 shots.
It's something. It's a lot. It definitely feels like the other play is best at this score. But
Yeah. No, I just wasn't sure. I guess it's to do with style that you're trying to win the game, and I'm trying to not lose the game. So I think I'd probably play 24-20.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that's best. But I like this position. Yeah, I think the other one makes a lot of sense because I still have to do all of that. But this is a 4 that actually makes the prime. So now I'm pretty happy.
Should win the game for you. So I've got to come out and keep my prime, so there's no choice with it.
Now I can immediately see the weakness in my plays. I need to play that 4. And
well, now you've made the 9 point, I can see the strength in your play.
This is a problem. So I want to play this 4, of course, but no 2, and I can't touch the valuable 5 prime. That's the most, that's what I have. So just hit another checker, come off the 5. Not too stranded. The guys on the 24.
Yeah, so this is all lovely for you, but you've got so many checkers behind the 5 prime. I just can't win this game. But nonetheless, I can't give up without a fight.
Right, this is the start of the turnaround. Oh, no, it came in. So coming with a 5. Now it kind of gets weird when I have some choices like, do I want to keep hitting? Obviously, I win the match with the gammon. I don't have any value for the backgammon, so there's no consideration of that. He's going to crunch some more. If I play the 3 here, is that okay? Yeah, I don't really see the difference between this. I'd prefer just to cover the outside a bit more, I think. I can still pick up that guy if I need to. He is good in a way that I could anchor there with a 4, but I think all considerations are just on the outfield now, and you're probably going to crunch, and we'll go from there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, previously the 24 point was in danger of getting stuck, but now you've got two exit routes from there without any risk.
Mm-hmm.
So I found there, I think. So.
Yeah, dance. I think I'm just going to slot the back. Although it looks kind of aggressive, I'm happy to be hit, especially by the spare there. I kind of want you to come round. As long as you're still on the 22 point, this is going to be okay. I do duplicate my 4s again to split and make it. So maybe there's... the problem is there isn't like an alternative where I don't have to almost kill a guy by putting him on the structure. So yeah, I think you just want to slot the back against back games like this is a general rule anyway.
Yeah, so it's quickest way to win, isn't it? To make the 6 prime. So 3 is easy, and do I really want someone else sent back? I can still escape with a 6 and keep both my anchors. So I think I just don't want someone else sent back here.
Yeah, someone watching might be thinking, you know, why don't you redouble? And I guess if I redoubled, then Julian would have the decision of passing and being 4-0 down Crawford. So he would have about 16%. So he would only have to decide if this position had more or less than that, whether he would take and redouble for the match. But while I still have some gammons in the picture, and while I still think he wins, well, maybe even from here he wins something like that, there doesn't seem to be any reason not to just keep playing this game and see how it unfolds. I feel like I probably arrived to that 80-85% winning chance position anyway, after I have some chances of maybe winning a gammon. Debating that, yeah, okay, I could still lose here, right? I could roll double 5 or something, it could go badly, but I think those sequences are pretty rare given the structure we have at the moment. I don't know if you'd agree with that, Julian, but 6-2.
Yeah, I'm sure you should play on. It's near impossible for you to lose this game with the 6 checkers behind the 5 prime.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Here, it's weird because I'm leaving 4 blots, but I still really want to be hit if you roll a 6. And if you scoop up 3 checkers, we've still got a lot of work to do. But I am worried about leaving so many. If I just do this, is that okay? You roll a 6. I don't really want to be on the bar against a 4-point board. So now I'm scared of leaving it slotted. And again, I'm not particularly good at this because I seem to always end up with the 3 guys on the bar. And somehow the guy escapes. So the gain, I just make the 6 prime. That doesn't really help that much. The risk is kind of bad, although I do want to be hit. But actually, I'm kind of happy, aren't I? If you strip that point at the front, and then you're forced off that anchor, and then I can make the 4 point. So maybe it's okay if you come off with that checker, as long as you don't leave yourself with a spare there. So I think 6 must come out because that is the flexible outfield coverage I'm looking for. 2 is debatable, but I think I'm just going to lift it now.
Yeah, so one of the pluses of your play the 6, so I'm sure this might if you come out, is that it reactivates my 5s. So essentially I'm threatening to hit you with a 5, which you don't mind at all, but you probably don't want the other 3 blocks knocking around when in that variant. So
Yeah,
3
just
is clear. And I suppose while the 10 point, you haven't got the back of the prime slotted well, I mean, you're not going to make that back of the 6 prime anytime soon. So getting another guy ready to jump out is got to be right.
That makes sense. So I follow my plan of just covering the outfield, not really hunting to pick up more checkers when his board crunches. So I think this, again, I'm leaving 3 blocks, but it's probably okay. This way it's just 6-1. But this way, what is it? 6-4, 6-5. Just 4 numbers, but I don't really think I mind being getting hit now. So I think this is good.
Okay, so 4-1, 4 is forced. And I think this is one of these positions where I have to try and punch my board as slowly as possible. So I'm going to kill the 5s this way. And I don't have any 5s to play next time.
Yeah, you're in the strange defensive position, just trying to hold on to the board for as long as possible. All right, 6-4. So now that you've crunched the board, I'm not really worried about getting hit. So I really want to slot the back of the prime. Because I really want you to kill those. Well, I think this is just my feeling. I think I want you to come out and hit and waste those 2 checkers and get them all the way around before I eventually squeeze you off. So now that the risk has gone down from getting hit, I feel like we can play this nice and purely.
Yeah, so that looked clear. So 4 is again forced. And 1, I think I've got better chance of still keeping the 2 anchors, trying to come up at the back and just put everyone on the 4 point. I don't think it's good. So I think I'll just strengthen the board, even if it only lasts 1 roll.
Right, now this is a fun moment because you might ask, what's my plan? Well, my plan is basically to make the 10 point, so I have a 6 prime, and then force him off the anchor, which is stripped, his 22 point. Now, as he's busy crunching his board, I'm keeping a mental note of what numbers are going to be forced. So you can see he can play 3s in his board, but 4s and 5s and 6s are all going to be forced. So once I've made the 10 point, I'm going to look to break, I think, the 7 point. So his 4s are going to have to break from there, and I keep as much contact and much prime value as possible. Obviously, the numbers won't let me execute that this time, but maybe it was interesting for people to know what the plan was or what I had in mind of carrying out. Right, 6-6, really annoying to move so fast.
Okay, so I'm going to take a 1-minute break again. So by all means, talk about the position while I'm gone.
Okay, I'll cover you. Radio DJ style. 6-6. So obviously you can't move a lot of these checkers. Same things apply as before, I guess. So 1, 2 can still force him out with 4s if I make a play like this, right? So he has to break the 22 point anchor. Obviously 6s, he's just going to hit me, but we're happy to be hit with a 6 anyway. It's pretty forced. I mean, if I give up this point, I don't want to leave a block there, and I don't want to play a dilly builder inefficiently behind his anchors. So actually, the plan of forcing him off with a 4, the 5s are both blocked, so we can't do that. I'm not going to leave any unnecessary extra men around, so this is solid. Again, aesthetically pleasing, often a clue that your decision has value. Nice distribution of spares to continue. So yeah, what I'm really hoping is that he rolls 4-2 or 4-1. If he rolls 4-1, obviously he'll pick up the guy as well. So 4-2 would give me the best chance of just blitzing him and closing out. Well, not closing out 2 guys, but making a 5-point board with 2 of his guys on the bar and winning the gammon. Unfortunately, there's still a chance that he just rolls a 6 and can get his way out of this. So yeah, I think I'll go with that 6 anyway. Ooh, he's going to enjoy that. He's going to like coming back to this. That's what you want.
Right, so I am almost back now. So yes, bit of a catastrophe. Ran out of wine halfway through the match.
That's
right. So yeah, 6-6 was not a good roll for you.
No, but it's okay.
3 looks like it is perhaps my best roll.
Perhaps.
So 2 out. And maybe just keep them coming round. I have a back game and a forward game. Okay, so that looks easy.
Yeah, so like even here is a moment where I'm considering maybe I want to just cube and win. How many games can he really win with you know, crunched board and 2 open points being behind in the race. But as I'm not confident either way, and I still understand that my position wins a bunch of gammons naturally, and they would win the match, and I'm just in control anyway, I'm just going to keep rolling. So I'm going to leave that decision open. So 1. Now there is an argument for staying back there and just, you know, trying to pick up a guy, but I have to break all the structure. But this move is not really appealing, playing it to the ace. Because what am I going to do now? Now you have all the time in the outfield just to move these, play these 2 checkers, and I'm going to be blocked and be, you know, turning my position really ugly and weak. So maybe there's a fancy play here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you have to break the points with 3s and 4s, release lots of blocks into the outfield. Wow, it's horrible. I don't really know. But those are the options I'm looking at. Staying back all the way does make some sense because you pretty much have to break that point with everything. But do you really mind getting put like back on the bar? You've still got your 3-4 game. This way, it just lets you off all the, you know, just gives you the whole outfield. And if you roll a 3 or a 4, you're delighted to hit because now I have a board. I have a blocking board. I only have a 3-point board. You have a 4-point board, and you're out into the outfield. So that leads me to want to do this, but then that doesn't really play very well. So I'm going to go back to the first decision and just make the point. I feel like that's the strongest position, but it also pressures your position the most. But not confident at all.
Okay, so 6-2. Yes, the back check is on the 22-point block, so that makes life easier. I don't think I want to come off one of my anchors just yet. I still need the defense. Again, I'm not terrified about being hit here. So this 6 is clear. I don't want to move the guy on the 3 points to the 1 point because it's really just a step backwards. I might need those 2 pips later. So just count the shots here and see what we give. So this is all the 1s and 9s. So that's what? 6, 3, 4, 5, double 3, 5, and 11 is 16. Or the other way is 14 3s, and another 4 is 18. Any reason why this is better? Constant reason why this is better. This is less shots. That makes sense.
Yeah, always difficult. So I have a very natural 4 because I'd love to play this checker in and put him on the 5 point. You see that's where he belongs, but that also allows me to play this kind of sneaky 2 where I'm only leaving an indirect shot and I'm getting that guy closer to home. So that's a combination move of value. Any other alternative just leaves a direct and doesn't play this lovely spare into the 5 point.
Right, so double 5. So let's just eliminate some things that aren't going to work. So that way I have to come off the anchor anyway. If I'm going to come off the anchor, what's the best way to do it? So let's think of bringing 2 out. Bringing 1 round. What does that look like? That's no shots. Or I can push these guys around, so that puts some pressure on him. It takes a bit of pressure off his 9 point. And now I'm not too clear, so I'm leaving the half dozen 7s. That's good. What do I play next time here? You just find some way to do nothing. I don't have anything to play. So let's just try attacking your blot and see what that does, whether the blot can find somewhere safe to go to.
Right, interesting. So now you've moved kind of a lot of pips, double 5, another roll before. You've got out of losing lots of gammons. That seems clear. So I'm up in the race. I could still hit with a 7. Could still lose. So now that it's turned into a position without gammons, it's leaning me towards wanting to recube more. But I don't know how valuable this position is, as in, do I have 80%? Do I have 85%? Do I have 70%? 75%? Hard to judge, but being 30 pips up at basically home, I'd imagine I had 80%, or close to 85, something like this and that's exactly where I want to be when I'm redoubling. But I think, even if I got this checker safe onto the 9 point, that's pretty similar. You still win maybe 1 in 6 from there. So I don't feel like I lose my market by a mile if I got that checker safe, but I could obviously still hit you and maybe just win anyway. So again, I am on the side of caution and keeping control, keeping the cube on my side when I'm unsure and I'm really not confident at this score in this position what the correct action is. So I'm just going to roll. That's one of the numbers I was talking about, just to get this guy safe. And now I've established this solid position.
Okay, so double 3, that makes 6 points. So that's good for saving the gammon and good for when I hit.
All right, now it's difficult because you've actually made a board. Now you can win. Well, it feels like you can win now very easily after you hit, but you have to hit. So this is like a holding game where I've cleared the midpoint. Usually they're about 80%, maybe 82% with a good race. Unfortunately, I don't have the 7 or the 8 point, which would help me clear it. But feels like probably okay. There is contact 5 away. After I use the spare on the 9 point, I'm going to have like 3 numbers, I guess. Worst case scenario, maybe I'd even like 11 shots, 13 shots, 15 shots, I guess I could leave. Worst case scenario. Then you hit, then I can still win because you have an open 5 point. So it really feels like this is the position that I wanted. Aren't any gammons anymore. Do I win enough? I don't really know, I have got the 2 point, I got the spare guy. It just feels like the race is enough and just 1 point really to clear, which is only 5 away. Of course, if it was 4 away, I think this would be perfect, but I think it's still flexible enough. So I'm going to send it here. Be interested to hear your thoughts on it, Jules.
Yeah, I think my decision I feel quite comfortable with. So if I pass, you're leading 4-0 Crawford, and that score I call gammon go +1. So basically, I have to win 1 game to get to gammon go. So my chance of winning 1 game is exactly a half, and at gammon go, my chance is 32. So if I pass, I have 16%. I think maybe it's a little bit less than that because most of the time when I'm making my comeback, I win a single and you still have a free drop. So when you were talking about the percentages, I don't think you ever got to the stage of saying that you were 84, 85% here. So I think actually my take is quite comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm envisaging here is that you might roll a double to clear it. You might roll double 5 to really screw up your position. But most of the time, you're going to come down to 2 checkers on the 10 point and then try and clear it. And you've got 3 landing spots, 3, 4, and 6 are okay. 1, 2, 5 will leave shots. So I think as far as I'm concerned, it's really a standard position, but I've got a small amount of race, but quite a bit of hitting. So I think it's actually a comfortable take. I did think about your double, and I think your double is right on account of the fact that I'm not quite sure if it's better or worse. So if you roll 3-1 and you strip the 10 points, is that better or worse for you? You've got more shot leaving numbers, but more clearing numbers. I thought, well, okay, you've got a double here because you've got good numbers, the 5 doubles that basically miss your market by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the double is right, and I'm pretty sure that the take is right.
Yeah, I'd be happy to play for the match. Okay, this is one of my good numbers, which gets me much closer to winning. So want to reduce contact here, and the way to do that is by getting rid of the 9 points. So 1, 2, 3. And I want to stay flexible, and really that's about all the checkers and the spare checkers in front of this anchor. So then you might think about playing like a 1 here. I actually kind of like all those spares as they are, so I'm just going to play the 1 there. Just seems like it's slightly more flexible. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, the way to evaluate those positions is that, as I said last time, when you had the 9 points, you had 3 spare landing spots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because you've switched to the 8 point, you've got 4 landing spots with 2, 3, 5, and 6. So you've only got 2 bad numbers, so now you're much more likely to clear the point safely.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on here? So now you'll have a match lie, so there's no reason why I shouldn't be redoubling. If you win this game, you're going to win the match.
Yeah, automatic recube. I think the position I have now would have been a pass.
Yeah, that's. I think you're right there. So 5, 4. My next goal is to make the 5 points, so I'm working on that goal next.
Yeah, you've got kind of one eye on the race, haven't you, and one eye on maybe getting some hits. So my 6 is forced, and the 2 is easy because I want to slot the point anyway, but it's also forced.
Well, you could leave a direct shot.
Yeah,
your fancy.
I could do that on the 8Q just for the fans.
Okay, so there's 2 goals here. What I have to do is I have to hit a shot and I have to win after I've hit. So the best play to hit a shot would be something like this. But how do I win this game? I've got to count on getting the shot, hitting him, and then coming round to make the 5 points before he enters. So I think I have to make a play that's good for making the 5 point and good for hitting. And okay, I get slightly less hits here, but I have to win after I hit as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice play. I think this is also the best play to win the race, right?
Yeah,
you don't waste any pips, and you slot the open 5, which is much better in the bear off. So yeah, 3-1. Up in the race enough where I don't have to consider hitting, but there would be a position that probably looks quite similar where hitting would probably be best. So 3-1, I just cover, of course, and now I want to get off double 6 and bad, kind of awkward double 5. So I'm actually going to play this checker here, and that should fix those numbers. Double 4 plays better as well. Okay, makes sense, I think.
Yeah, that certainly does make sense because you've got 4 checkers on the 2 back points. It's good, and now maybe with some of the awkward 5s, you can clear the 6 point. So 5, 3, not perfect. I guess I'm so far behind in the race that I can't go for a race. So 5, and if I play here, I only have 2s to cover. If I play in, I have 5s to cover, still 1 covering number, but at least I've got 1 more crossover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, crossover look good. Still racing, so I clear. That's great.
So 5, 4. Now we have to choose whether to race. So am I going to get a shot next time? I can only see 6, 2 leaves a shot. So if I try and wait for a shot, and I won't get a shot next time, then I might have to run. If I don't have to run, I'll just have to crush my board. So I think I've got to go for the race no matter how bad it is. So 5 and 4. So what is the race? 16. You've got a bit more wastage. You've got a gap on the 4 point. So maybe I'm winning 12% here or something. So 10 is very good. That's a big number.
Seems like your best chance of winning, so going for that makes sense. Got to be more efficient to use those pips rather than wasting 9 pips there. 4-2, so that's forced.
So 5, 1. If I come in with 1 and take the 5 off, then I have a potential gap on the 5 point. So I want to make sure my big doubles play well because that's what I'm counting on winning the game. If I roll lots of 1s, I'm going to lose anyway. So I don't really mind if I lose 2-fold by missing with them as well.
Now we got this grand finale 8Q big finish, much closer than the leader would like.
So how are you doing here? You've got 7 off, I've got 5 off. So you are in theory 2 rolls ahead, and you're 5 pips up. Wow.
I'd bet on you in this position. So the 5's off, and the 1 is debatable. But if I do this and then I roll a 1 or a 2, then I'm going to have these 2 gaps, and that's bad. But if I do this and now I roll a 1, well then a 1 would fill in the gap, and also sort of cleared the highest gap. So it makes more sense to play it that way because this way, it's just going to lead to more misses, or that's how it appears to me.
Yeah, so I agree with the play. So The problem with slotting the 1 point is you leave yourself potentially 2 missing 4s.
Mm-hmm.
You roll 4-1, 4-2, 4-3. You know, you can get 2 misses. You don't mind 1 miss, but you don't want 2 misses.
Alrighty. Well, you're setting up the big finish. Okay, so 4 off. And I believe that this is the same. Doesn't matter which one I do. So this way, if I go to the ace, I like going to the ace because then if I roll 2 big numbers, I get off. Whereas if I do this and roll 2 big numbers and I still miss with an ace. I guess the problem with this, if I roll an ace the first time, then I miss with an ace and a deuce. But it still seems better that way. So aces and deuces are bad. Just aces are bad. I think it's the same, but I always prefer to put a guy on the ace because then I'm going to get off with more numbers next round, I think. No difference on double 2 or anything. Should normally be. Oh, there is a difference on double 2 actually.
Quite a big difference, I'd venture to suggest.
Yeah, bam, 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 bam.
One
Well, that
wins,
makes
one
sense.
loses.
Yeah, 1 wins, 1 loses. So maybe that's enough. Double 1. Maybe I feel stupid this way. Roll a 2 or a 1 is bad. Double 2, but you're 3 rolls behind. Just roll 4-3, and then I'm off with everything but 2-1. This way, I roll like 6-5, and then I still miss with a 1. So I don't know. That doesn't really convince me. It's just a double 2, but maybe I'm crazy. I feel like I should play it this way, and then if I don't roll a 1, I basically win for sure. Maybe I'm nuts. I'm gonna go for it.
No, I thought that was right. I thought it was obviously right, but it's not at all clear. I think the problem you've got is that it's unnatural not being allowed to cube. That if you had cube access, then you could go for the 2 on the 2 and 2 on the 3 and getting a good double when it works.
Right, that's a lovely observation. Yeah, that's a great point. If we're setting up that efficient cube
So
perfectly.
this is not so clear. So if you go for that other formation, then you miss on 1s. Here you miss on 2s, so that's level. And the other way, when you get a good number, you leave yourself with 10 or 11 misses. And here, when you get a good number, you have 2 misses, but you can roll something in 1, and then you've got 19 misses.
Right, that's why it didn't seem as simple as I first thought. From memory,
Yeah,
they were tied.
2 and 19 is 21, or the other way you could have 10 or 11 is 21. So there doesn't seem to be too much difference there.
Yeah.
So it really is the double 2. Okay, so talking of double 2s, I am showing you what you should be rolling.
Yeah.
That's 3 of them, and then the 4th one is 4.
Oh, we got there. Now we roll the 1, we would have missed the other way. There you see.
Right, 10th finish.
Yeah, nice, good match, Jules. Thanks for that, and I hope everybody enjoyed it and got something out of it. It was a pleasure to put it on for everybody. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you both. It's been a really real awesome match to watch, and it's been really interesting to listen to you sharing your thought processes. So thank you very much. We will be trying to organize more of these in the near future. Just to thank you for everyone for watching. And if you do want to watch again or catch up on any other previous matches, they're all now on YouTube. So youtube.com/UKBGF. And with that, I think thank you all. Good night, and see you all again soon.
Brilliant. Thanks.
Right, thank you very much for hosting it again, Julia.
Quite all right.
You're definitely the unsung hero in this expedition.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, cheers. So
all the best. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye for now.
Yeah, thanks, guys.